Good evening, people. Welcome back to BNR, and we are now less than 48 hours away from seeing the mighty Reds play again. Whether that's a good thing at this moment in time, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm certainly excited about watching the Reds again on Saturday afternoon. And I'm sincerely sure that the rest of the guys who are with me tonight, who are absolutely looking forward to watching the Reds again. Been some exciting games over the last few days in the international breaks. Plenty of stuff to get into, plenty of stuff to talk about. But before we go any further, I will say hello to Asim and I'll say hello to China. But I'm going to start with our new face. We have another Mo in the house. I'm not sure if he's quite as good as Mo Salah, but I'm sure he's what's it called? I'm sure he's as good as Mo Salah when it comes to talking about the Reds. But Mohammed, it's a warm welcome to you from BNR. How you doing, my friend? Welcome to the channel.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm nowhere near as good as Mo Salah. I can assure you that.
You wouldn't be on here if you would, mate. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely. But no, honestly, I've been watching your show from afar, and you lads have been smashing it. So it feels very good to be here. Thanks for inviting me. And yeah, looking forward to this.
Brilliant. Lovely to have you on. Gents,
Ben, if you don't mind, Ben, and it should have happened a long time ago.
We're blaming Asim again for messing up another one that was supposed to come 6 months ago. Finally,
he does that a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah. You know what, Mohammed, there's only so much you can do. Like, how much carrying of the channel can you do? You do the thumbnails, you do the shows, you do the hosting, you do all the streams. And so sometimes some people have to invite others as well. So, you know what?
You're a little bit of slack.
But it's a big welcome for myself, Ben, and Gene, and everyone else on BNR. But I wanted to shout out your not your ex, but your Twitter account.
Yeah, don't shout his ex out.
Whenever someone comes, if they've got a channel, if they've got a platform online, you make sure you show your love. Head over and follow Mohammed on Twitter is Mabdi 23, and then you've just set up a new channel with your mates. Is it Cuts Inside?
Yeah. So it's only like 10 episodes in. It's a very new channel. It's called Cuts Inside on YouTube. You can find us on Made in Talk Stuff. It's basically, there's like loads of lads who support different teams, Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans, United fans, Chelsea fans, in the studio, and we just all going at it about the matches and stuff. It's really, really good fun. I might be a little bit biased because obviously I'm part of it, but I really do enjoy it. So if anyone gets the chance, please just go and have a look, and any feedback will be much appreciated.
Yeah, superb, mate. Only already over for 500 subs as well. I noticed I had a little look before. Yeah, it's a really great start. That's so good on you. And as I say, everybody give that channel a watch. But yeah, just whizzing back to Asim and Sheen. Are we all good, guys? And are we looking forward to the weekend, or are we excited, or are we nervous? Start with the boss, Asim.
Everything that you just said, Ben. I'm excited because proper footy. Boy, you say that proper footy is back, but you know what? I've not watched a single minute of international football. Every time I look at my Twitter, it's been an unbelievable thriller, whether it's the Irish, the Scottish, or anybody else. So, it has been entertaining, to be fair, even though I've not caught it myself. But I've caught the highlights, caught the goals, and caught all the drama on social media. So big up to everyone making the playoffs, and if you're Robbo making the World Cup, that'll be nice. And when I saw that video of what he said about Diogo, it was very, very heartwarming as well. Exactly what he said. So big up Robbo, and big up everyone who made the World Cup. And yeah, I'm nervous because it's Nottingham Forest, and we know exactly what happened last year with Nottingham Forest. They don't have the same manager, but you do know it's that kind of manager that likes to park in a bus. Everybody is talking about how to beat Liverpool. You whack it long, you win the second ball, and you make it really difficult for them. So it's not going to be easy. I'm sure we'll get into it, but yeah, excited but nervous as well, Ben.
Feels like they handpicked the manager for the Liverpool game, to be perfectly honest, doesn't it? That's like the story of our season at the moment, a little bit, isn't it? You know, they've been absolutely woeful, Nottingham Forest, for pretty much the whole of the season, even worse than us, and that's saying something. And yet, and then Dyche bounces in to what's it called, to save the day. And I think they got their first win, I think, just before the international break. So yeah, and then quite. Very similar next week as well. I think we're playing West Ham, who have been equally awful, and they've got they got Nuno now, haven't they? I think so. Another manager who's like a bit of a kryptonite for us. But hey ho, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But Chim, are you similar? Are you excited to be back? Is your first watch along for about 17 years on Saturday?
Honestly,
I'm bringing me headphones, mates. Don't you worry. I'm bringing me headphones.
I can't wait.
Bring an arm guard as well.
I can't wait for the game. I just can't wait to see the Reds. And that you mentioned, obviously, not being able to really watch the matches properly, you know, especially with you guys and everybody else. It's not been the same, obviously, being abroad. But I can't wait. You know what? All this time I've been not negative, but worried. The word Asim uses. But I know what? I don't know what it is where I've got this confidence is over the last day come in. But I just got this feeling. I mean, we're gonna put them to bed, and hopefully this will be the game the way everything starts. I just can't wait to see the Reds on Saturday, mate.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, the thumbnail of the show is obviously all focused around Semenyo. Some big updates around a couple of players. To be honest, we've already talked briefly about Gueye. We've talked about a couple of other options. January could well be a really exciting window for the Reds, and it might be an absolute necessity that we go and buy a couple of players. But before we come to the transfers, I was just going to loop back round, partly Forest, but more of a summarization. I'll come to you, Mo, just to get like a different perspective, to be honest, from a different voice. Can you sort of, I'll give you the floor. Can you sort of summarize in your thoughts and feelings how you feel as though the real core reasons why, and your thought process as to why the Reds have just gone off the rails a little bit this season?
I mean, it's a huge combination of multiple different things, in my opinion. One of them, I think one thing that's really been glossed over is how difficult the start of the season has been for us, and like the fixtures that we've had so far this season. Like in every single game, I can almost name a game. In every game, I can almost name, like, there's been an extra incentive for the opposition team. First game of the season against Bournemouth. That's just insane. Like we've seen already, they're already one of the best teams in the Premier League this season. Then you play Newcastle away at St. James's Park with that added like Isaac scenario. And then you're playing against Arsenal, third game of the season, a team that looks like they're running away with the league. Then you're playing like a Palace who are on a 17-game unbeaten run. Then you go away to Galatasaray, then away to Chelsea. Like every single game, I feel like this season has had something extra attached to it. There's only one, I think, and you lads can correct me if I'm wrong here, but Aston Villa at home generally felt like the only normal game we've had this season in terms of the Premier League. It's just felt like a normal Premier League match, like without too much animosity or anything attached to it. And I feel like Nottingham Forest is going to be quite similar. A normal 3 p.m. Saturday kickoff, calm Premier League match. But obviously one of the biggest things that's happened to us this season that I don't think any of us can comprehend is the passing of Diogo Jota, rest in peace. Like, I don't know how none of us can comprehend what those players are going through. You look at Robertson over the international break, taking Scotland to the World Cup for the first time since 1997. And his first thought was to talk about his passing of one of his close friends, Diogo Jota. We've seen our best player in tears, in literal tears, after we won a match, after he scored the last-minute winner. Like, these are the sort of things that you just can't comprehend as a fan. Like, what are these players going through? Even for the new players that are coming and joining the team, they're joining a team that's basically, a lot of them are grieving. Like, you don't know how they're going to feel on certain times or occasions. So that's why I give Slot a lot of grace this season. Like, it must be so difficult. How is he supposed to learn this? How do you learn how to deal with a whole team that's grieving, which such a significant thing, honestly. It's just been a combination of things. Asim was just talking about, like, we're playing Nottingham Forest right now with Sean Dyche. I wish it was a couple of weeks ago when they had Ange. Like, why not just play them then? Or even like when Graham Potter had West Ham, but we're playing Nuno instead. 2 very defensive managers. And even with West Ham, they haven't won a game at home all season, but they're coming off 2 games back to back that they've won at home, and then Liverpool are turning up, so they've got a little bit of confidence there. So I feel like these small elements, these small differences, can make a big factor, even if it's like 1%, 2%. It's huge when it comes to professional football. It's huge when it comes to the Premier League. And I feel like when the small elements are on your side, you can go a long way in terms of luck. I feel like last season we had a lot of that. A lot of moments we were playing teams where their star player was injured or they've come off a really bad result, etc. But this season, I feel like it's just been the complete opposite. But hopefully we can turn the tide now. You look at the next 5-6 games, especially in the Premier League. The old cliche is like there's no easy game in the Premier League, but when you look at them, they're probably tailor-made for results, and I expect us to win some games now.
More, I don't want to sound I know, look, I echo everything that you said there. Just on Diogo Jota, I don't want to sound like a heartless sod. I just feel like how Anfield and the away end, come and chant his name every 20th minute. And because what you're saying is, it's a constant reminder. I know the fans are doing it out of out of good nature, but I don't think it's driving them on. I don't think that chant on the 20-minute every single match is a motivation. I think it's a reminder of what happened. They've lost their best mate in the summer. I think it was good in the first game at Anfield. I think it was good when we were there, and Preston, big up to Preston. They played their part on the first day. I think when we play Wolves at Anfield, or even at Wolves later on this season, I think it is going to be very, very fitting to do it every single week. And when you see Salah, when you see Robo, when you see every single player talk about their best mate and how they lost him in the summer, I don't think it's doing them any good. Would you agree?
I 100% agree with you. Like, I've been to most matches at Anfield this season, and like the beginning, as you mentioned, Bournemouth, Preston, it's understandable. It's very fresh. It's very new, but at this point, I'm like, there's not really much of a point. I don't see the reason why we're doing this. And it's like a reminder. It's not really a motivation for the players. I feel like we've been continuously doing it over and over again on the 20th minute of every match. And it's difficult to say that you can see the players drop off after that song gets chanted. But at the same time, I just don't see it as a motivation. I think maybe save it for certain occasions, certain moments, maybe towards the end of the season, last game of the season, or if we're in the final, maybe then. But like every single game, the lads are already reminded 24/7. I'm sure, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the changing rooms, Diogo Jota's space is still there, like his shirt's still up or something like that. So the players are constantly going to be reminded of this. And for me, if I could make a decision, I'll stop the fans from chanting it. But obviously, everyone's free will, isn't it? So when I go, obviously, I get up and I do join in with the chants. But at the same time, part of me is thinking, I don't think this is working for us. It's going to be a net negative for us in the results when you look at it.
It's an interesting conversation, that actually. Personally, I disagree slightly. But Gene, what do you think?
Ben, it's a difficult one, because at the start of the season we played 5 games, we were singing it, we were absolutely fine. In terms of it being sung, I had no issues with it. Everything was fine on hunky dory. But when you start losing games, Ben, it becomes something. In a sense where it is. I'm not going to say, of course, these players are going to be affected by obviously what happens, some longer than others. So again, as Asim said, we don't want to sound insensitive towards any player or the club or anybody else. I don't know where I stand with this, Ben. I'll be honest with you. So there'll be times where I think, maybe just urge the players on. Look, I think the question more than is, what if they can actually bring in something out in the players? Is it improving us, or is it making them feel a lot more emotional? Is it making them feel thinking about it a lot more? I don't know. I can't really answer that. But because I've missed the last few games, I haven't really watched all of them. So I don't know where I stand with it. I'm probably missing on the fence here, but
it is really difficult. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's not in terms of just when we lose, though, because like if you look at what happened with Robertson, he took Scotland to the World Cup final for the first time for like 30 plus years. And the first thing he mentions is Diogo Jota. We literally seen our star player, Mohamed Salah, in tears after he scored in the last minute. So like some of the high moments of our season, the first thing that they think of is Diogo Jota. So like, I'm not using it as an excuse because we've lost so many matches, etc. But I'm just saying that this is going to still have an effect on these players. Like, we can't comprehend how difficult it must be for them, and especially considering how much of a big figure Diogo Jota was for the changing rooms and the dressing rooms. And a lot of players have came out and said when we're feeling a little bit low, Diogo was the player that they went to get some reassurance, some motivation. Yeah, it's a big figure to lose, and it's difficult for them.
It is a really interesting conversation. And as I say, my only reason why I said that I slightly disagree is because I almost feel I'm at the point where it doesn't matter if they stop doing it or if they carry on doing it. Personally, I think if you look at it, they are reminded of it all the time, like you said about the dressing room and the shirt being there. So I think that the 20-minute thing is just something for the fans to sort of like show that respect. And it does remind the players. But if you look at us this season, there isn't a problem at home. The problem's away. We've only lost one game at home against United, and if you could argue that we should have won that game, especially if you look at the XG and you drill into it a little bit deeper. It could have gone either way, but it wasn't like we got battered or anything like that. But away, we've been woeful, and I'd like to think that generally speaking, we've been pretty good away from home in the last few years. We're always a really competent away team, and I think that if we're talking about mentality and we're talking about previously referring to as the mentality monsters, well, I think they're anything but the mentality monsters this year. Not because they're not strong and tough and big men and whatnot, but because they're in pain. They're in a lot of like sort of. They're struggling, and I think it comes to a point when it's like there's probably days when you think, you know what, I'm going to play my heart out for Jota today. I'm going to leave it all out on the pitch. But then there's other days when they're probably in the back of the mind, like, well, you know what, I'm just happy to be alive and I'm just happy to be here. And like, if I play well today, great. And if I don't, then it is what it is. I don't mind, because there's more important things in life. And a lot of people don't want to hear that because these are getting paid thousands and thousands of pounds, but they are human beings. They are human beings. And every one of us, I'm sure Mo included, will have gone to work at some point in their life and been completely demotivated to do the job because other things in their life have gotten ahead of them. And they're tired and they're worn out and they're battered and beaten sort of thing. And at this level of elite sport, as you said, Mo, you only need to drop off 4 or 5%. And that's enough. And last season, we weren't this all-conquering Galactico team. We were winning games, but we were just winning games. So we can easily have gone the other way. And then you throw into all of the tactical analysis, the shape, the build-up, the off-the-ball approach, the new signings, the balance, the losing of players that have knocked us for 6. All of that get thrown into the mix. You're like, you can see where it's gone wrong. Not to mention the fact that our star striker has not hardly kicked a ball for us yet. And our second star player is just adjusting to the Premier League. So there's these loads of factors, isn't it? And it is a fascinating case study of the fact that Liverpool were champions last year, and everyone thought buy 4 or 5 players this season and we'll win everything. And it just shows you that it doesn't take many dominoes to fall before things can go completely awry. But I'm hoping now this is a really favourable run. I think it's probably the most favourable run that we've had so far this season. They're all winnable games. I think the most difficult game on paper in this run is Brighton. And if we can't beat them when we're playing well, then we've got something wrong. So let's hope that we can go in the right direction over the next few games. But let's park the Forest and let's just have a little chat about these up and coming signings. So Semenyo is
up and coming, Ben. Up and coming.
Well, sorry, I let the cat out the bag there, haven't I? Sorry, yeah, I might have let the cat. Oh, no way, flipping a bomber from Ben. But yeah. Semenyo, we'll start with Semenyo. He definitely looks like a player who is, let's just say, the noise is getting louder over the last few days. A few more mainstream journalists are starting to weigh in with a little tweet here and a little message there. A few more established ITKs, should we say, if you believe all those chances that they're throwing their hand in, saying that it's definitely something that is being explored. I think it's definitely something that's being explored. If anyone wants to listen to me, but nobody wants to listen to me. Let's go back to our new face, Mo. What would you think about the idea of signing Semenyo? Is that something that you would be absolutely pushing for, or is that something that you think is more of an opportunistic buy?
100% it's someone I'll be pushing for. I think he's excellent. I think he's he's got all the abilities and all the qualities that we're lacking at the moment. The pace, the power, the strength, but most importantly for me, like the tenacity and like his hunger to press. In the summer, we lost Diaz and Nunes. And albeit they may not be the best players, like Diaz, okay, I was always a critic of Diaz because of his output, but in terms of his work rate, and especially Nunes, you can't fault their work rate. They used to work so hard for the team in terms of their pressing. So we lost 2 dynamic pressers in the team, and we replaced them with 2 players that don't really press as good, like Isaac, who we've hardly seen, and Ekitike. So with Semenyo coming in, that's one big massive positive for me. Like in terms of his pressing, he's going to press really, really well. He's got that pace, he's got that power. He's both footed, so you can play on the left and the right. Another advantage is that he's already got a relationship with Kerkez, so maybe he's the person that's going to unlock the potential that we know Kerkez has, and maybe Kerkez can start producing performances that he had at Bournemouth last season, as they've already got that connection. Another thing that I found quite interesting is when we were linked with him, because I feel like it's pretty much done the way all these journalists are coming out. I feel like it's probably beginning of January. I don't know nothing. I'm not an ITK or anything like that. It's just my own personal opinion, by the way.
You're in the right channel, then, mate.
I'm just assuming that it's in my mind, the way that the noise is going around. But then I thought, isn't Semenyo Ghanaian? Why is Ghana not in the AFCON? And then I looked in. Ghana's not in the AFCON. I couldn't believe it. So it makes even more sense. Salah's going to be gone for AFCON. Semenyo comes in, he can slot perfectly straight into that right wing until Salah's back. I think perfect sign and goal for him, but he shouldn't be the only one. Our main problems are not in attack. Our main problems are, I would say, is in defense and midfield.
Okay, we'll
defense and midfield.
Defense and midfield.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Semenyo feelings, Asim?
Not just yet. Not just yet. It's Friday tomorrow. You never know. Friday
never goes early, does he?
Listen,
man, I'm on a good run, man. I'm not going to risk it a month early. Yeah, but like, our deputant is talking sense tonight. Look, is he elite? No. Is he a priority? The biggest priority in this Liverpool team? I'd still argue no. But is he going to improve the team? 100%. Where he's an attacker and people are saying, why do we need an attacker? We can't get the ball to our attackers and all that sort of stuff. But I believe that he can feel contact. And many times Liverpool have faced an aggressive press, especially the big day. And just what Mo was talking about, where whether he's right or whether he's left, he's so strong on the ball. He can put his studs on the ball and go any direction. And that is a very, very good asset to have. I see what he's saying, where he's got the relationship for the last 2 years with Kerkez, and it'd be a natural fit with all the relationship and the chemistry and all that sort of stuff. I get that, but I think there is some fundamental personnel issues at the back line and maybe midfield on the left-hand side to really get the best out of Kerkez. And maybe a better centre-back or even more of a different profile at the right-back area will make sure he can stay behind and let Kerkez go. And that's why I've been talking about someone like Gehi coming in and maybe the first phase of his Liverpool career, especially for the first 6 months until we addressed the type of left back / centre back, left-footed centre back comes in. And so we've got like a marauder, and then we've got a third centre back profile in someone like Bastoni. I think that is what Liverpool is missing. A left-sided midfield to come and naturally come and get Kerkez to go higher. Curtis Jones is one of those players that can do it, but Curtis Jones is going to play well for a month or two and then get injured. And that is the annoying thing about Curtis Jones. You want him to have a run. So other players can be in different type of zones in the team. So I think there are different personnel and different structural issues to get the best out of Kerkez. He needs to sort himself out in terms of his mentality, how he's thinking at the moment. And once he matures out, once he settles, I'm sure hopefully he becomes a good Liverpool player. But at the moment, he's going through that period where he needs to settle. But yeah, look, going back to Semenyo, I think he is one asset that Liverpool miss in attack. Whether you go direct at him, whether Liverpool sit off. We saw against Real Madrid, Liverpool sat off, won the second ball and went from there. It was a brilliant foundation on the night, and we looked really good at a counter-attacking side. But with Semenyo, I called him a counter-attacking instigator, a turbo in transition. We saw many times where Trent was told, look, don't go into that area. Kanate, we've got a trade-off with Salah, but we had a trade-off with Trent. And you can talk about his personal appetite to defend and all that sort of stuff, and I accept that. But it was also an instruction for the manager for many, many years where Kanate is good enough to come across and mop up. But the moment he wins that ball, I want Trent to be at the edge of the box. Why? He can play a vertical pass and we can go on Nunes and Jota and Salah and Szoboszlai can go from there. We have missed that. And what we lost with Diaz is the ability to carry a ball for 30, 40 yards. And we lost the counter-attacking. How many times did Liverpool just with a blink of an eye score a goal? Semenyo, whether he's on the right or the left, he will give us that transition quality. And especially in the Champions League, I think it's going to be a really, really big asset where sometimes on the big day, obviously with Arsenal and City away, we're not the favourites. We have to suffer in the games. But with him, even though you're suffering, within 5-6 seconds, we can go up the pitch and score a goal out of nothing, and the game has changed. We have missed that. You just look at the players that we lost. Trent, brilliant in transition, even in set of the attack, you'd argue as well. Diaz, brilliant. Nunes, brilliant in tackle. Whatever you thought about him as a finisher, he's a brilliant. Getting to the goal, he did that really well. After that, I can't back him up, even though I backed him up for years, but I drew a line in the end. Jota, unbelievable intensity, whether it's the press or in transition. Diaz, I've mentioned as well. So I think he'll give us a lot of quality. And I'd said, look, I want to see him against low blocks. Well, he'll say, look, Bournemouth, just especially on the big day when we watch Bournemouth, he just doesn't play in a against a team, Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, where we're gonna just sit off Bournemouth. They are gonna go, and Areola plays high intensity, full throttle football, Jurgen Klopp like, if you like, and he was really, really good at it. So yes, it's intriguing. It's not the finished article, but it's a really good profile, a really good age, and a really good time maybe in his career that he's had a couple of seasons where he's proved such a brilliant talent at Bournemouth. And now, can you make that jump? But it's all about his hunger, his desire, and of course, mentality as well. So I would take him in a heartbeat. If I'm being honest, just to finish off, I'm not the biggest Cody Gakpo fan, but I was happy with the duo of Diaz, especially in away games where you have to suffer, he has to defend in really in deep areas. And then when you had a lot more control and the environment was really good at Anfield, you had the better finisher of the attack in Cody Gakpo. I thought it worked really well, as we saw last season, and we've lost that. The drop off, and I know he's going to be a superstar, we all hope so, in Rio. Gakpo to Rio in experience and class, week in, week out, let's be honest, is just not good enough. So we've got that to think about. I'm really unhappy as Liverpool didn't address it in the summer, but with Mohamed Salah going at AFCON as well, that's another issue as well. So look, he ticks a lot of boxes, and let's get him signed up.
Interesting. Gina, as a little sort of like devil's advocate, would you take Semenyo in January? Asim saying he's not elite now, but does he have an elite ceiling? Would you take Semenyo in January, or would you keep your money and wait for potentially an elite player next summer on the left?
Ben, I can't wait for nothing. I want this season. And if I believe Semenyo can come in and make his mark on this Liverpool team, which I believe he can and I believe he will, it's a massive, massive signing. Look, for me, we're in for Gay and Semenyo. These two players are, and it's crazy me saying this, one's only 60, I say only 60 million, but you know where I'm going with this. 60 and hopefully some Gay 20 million or 25 million. These two can be game changes for Liverpool this season, because if you look at this Liverpool team, we've struggled, as I mentioned, we struggled on that left side. I've been crying out for 2 years that this Liverpool team lacks pace. This guy provides abundance of that. And defensively, we've been shy in build-up, and Gay provides us that. So they're the two main attributes I feel Liverpool have lacked this season. Yes, people can mention two other attributes. This is an issue, but I feel build-up, which has been the massive issue, and no pace, especially from the left-hand side. Mm-hmm. We can address these two issues, and it looks like Liverpool are going into the market to try and address them. It's massive for this season. Semenyo, look, I looked at some stats. I've seen him. I love the way the amount he works off the ball in terms of his defensive traits and his defensive progressions as well. He works his socks off. He helps out his fullback. That goes to show that this lad has the characteristics that's needed at this football club right now. This is what we need. We need a Semenyo. In terms of his ceiling, we've seen he's made inroads, especially over the last 12 months. We wanted to see how good he was this season. He didn't get his move this summer. He's the way he started off this season. He's producing numbers, assists, goals, albeit at Bournemouth. He needs to move. And I think you people have mentioned this is a Mane-like type signing, a Southampton, Bournemouth, the same sort of club. Both can play on both sides. Does he have the will and the tenacity to take his game to another level at Liverpool? That's what we're going to have to wait and see. I believe he can. I think he's got a ceiling. I think he's got the mentality. He's come from Newport, and then worked his way up. And you're seeing, he's always progressing, always producing. And I love his frame. The bulky, muscly to tall sort of frame, because he can, he's not going to get bullied by anyone. First game of the season against Kirkes, I saw it. This guy, Bournemouth were going long towards his side because they knew this guy was good enough to win the ball against him, and he will put a lot of fullbacks on their asses in the Premier League. How big and strong he is. But look, I'm all for this signing, man, and I hope we get both of them done. It's really important that we get both of these signings done this January, because if we do, we can really make a go of it. Look, I wasn't of the opinion, Ben, that I don't think Liverpool were going to do much business. And that's why I was looking at it thinking, if we don't do any business in January, I was struggling to see where Arne Slot was going to, how he was going to sort it out, because the issues that we've got in this football team are bigger than tactical.
Just structural and just tactical personnel.
Players I felt as though are not good enough. It's not working, and there wasn't a replacement that was going to be good enough to come into that position that was going to give us something completely different. However, these two signings give us exactly what we need. So hopefully, I pray that we go into the market, and we go into the market early, get these deals done now. I like the fact that Romano and Ornstein have come out early regarding this. There's another month to go. That shows me that the signings Liverpool want to get done early in January, because we can't wait until the end of Jan. If you want them, you go in hard early Jan.
Is there a deadline? Is there a deadline from Bournemouth as to when a team, if they do come in and trigger that release clause, is the deadline public? I'm not seeing it.
I think it's 2 weeks. I think I've read that it's the first 2 weeks. It's valid for the first 2 weeks of the January window.
So he's going to have to be early then. And I think even, what's his name? Gay, because of what happened last time, dragging it out till the end and them not being able to bring in an able replacement, Gay's going to be wanting to say...
Yeah, that should be a 1st of January job as well.
Yeah, we have to go in early and get these deals done.
Yeah. Mo, tough question. This is a really good point. This is a really interesting point. That could well be a similar sort of style. I know Kvaratskhelia is a special player, but in his own way, Semenyo could well be a catalyst for us in January, in the same way as PSG with a bit of a basket case in the first 10, 12 games of the season last year, and then exploded and came to life. So that's an interesting one. But what I was going to say to you, I know you've got some opposition fans on your channel. Semenyo's reportedly a big Arsenal fan. Taking your red hat off for a minute, where's which club's the better club to go to in this current scenario for Semenyo?
I can't take that hat off. It's Liverpool. I've always been saying Liverpool. Liverpool's the only
club. It's a difficult question.
It's to be honest, it's an easy question. It's Liverpool. I think obviously Arsenal's in a good position right now as well in terms of the league. But if you come to Liverpool, you can clearly see that we're lacking that kind of profile in terms of like what Semenyo will bring, that pace, that power. I agree with what the lads have said. He's still not like at that top level just yet. Like Kvaratskhelia last season when he went in January, we already knew the talent he had. He's world class. He's like the top of the top. And I think we were like kind of linked with him as well last January, but we never went ahead and got him. Semenyo's obviously not that level, but like in a year or two, you never know. He might be able to crack that level and might be able to get to that potential. And Liverpool's the type of club that he needs to come to if he wants to reach that level. He's obviously it's a next step up from Bournemouth. Like he needs to move up from Bournemouth. I've heard links for like Tottenham, which makes no sense to me. Like, why are you going to leave Bournemouth to go Tottenham? It's just bizarre. Like if you're going to go anywhere, you're going to go to the very top. Go to Liverpool, and then if you come in, he could really be, as Sheen was saying, the catalyst to change for this season. Like he could bring so much difference to this team that we need, that pace, that power, the pressing ability. So if we get him in as early as possible, hopefully by January the 1st, he's a Liverpool player, and we also get Mark Gahey in, which I think was probably the biggest error that we made in the summer, not getting him over the line probably in the first few weeks, because we just needed the center. The second that we knew Quansah was leaving, I just don't understand why we never had a centre half ready to come in straight away. Like I just found that bizarre that we was haggling over 4-5 mil, whatever it was. So hopefully we could sort that out, get Gahey in 25-30 mil, whatever it is, and bring Semenyo in. And then I honestly think things can change for us in the second half of the season. You're looking at December and you're looking at the fixtures, as I've already mentioned. They're already very favourable for us. Like there's a lot of favourable games there. So if we can go on a nice little run, hopefully pick up some wins in the next 6-7 games or whatever it is, and then you add Semenyo and Gahey to this team, you're solving so many issues. Gahey with his passing ability from the back, which we've been lacking in terms of like the build-up, he can hopefully sort that out. Semenyo, as I mentioned, like his pace, his power. Obviously, he can cover Mo Salah as well whilst he's away for AFCON.
Yeah.
There's just so many benefits to this. Hopefully, we can get both of these deals done as early as possible, and then we can attack the second half of the season similar way to PSG did in the Champions League last season, because everyone wrote them off. Nobody expected to see them win the Champions League, and look at them, they ended up winning it.
Mohammed, if you were told only one comes in,
hey, we've all had this one, mate. So lucky you're getting it now.
for me, it's Gahey. If there's only one that can come in, it's Gahey. I think we can wait until the summer. We can wait until the summer to address the attack. We've got options that can play on that left-hand side. I'm not Gakpo's biggest fan, neither. I never have been, but you can't deny his, he is a finisher. Like, if he gets himself into the right position, he can finish. We've seen Verts played on that left-hand side a couple of times. So, although I'm not the biggest fan of that as well, we signed him as a 10. We didn't sign him as a left winger. But for me, it has to be Gahey. We have to sign a centre half. Like, we can't go into the second half of the season with the way Konate's been performing this season. With
and would he come in at centre half for you?
So this is quite interesting. Does he come in as centre half, or does he come in as like the way that we've been using Kerker strangely as a left back that drifts inside? For me, I'm not really a big fan of that. I'll just jib that all off and just use our left back as a left back and bring him in as a centre back instead of Konate, because Konate this season, it's strange. I just want to ask him, are you world class or are you not world class? I'm confused. I've never been more confused by a player in my life.
I don't think he knows, to be honest.
Because when he is good, he's sensational. But when he's bad, it's an eyesore.
That's the problem with Konate, isn't it? It's complete inconsistency. He's either an 8, 9 out of 10, or he's a 3, 4 out of 10. Yeah, and you can't operate like that with a centre half.
And you just can't get that in between. Like, give me 6, 7s every single match. Do you know what I mean? But it's very frustrating with Konate. With Gahey, if he comes in, he's just solid, so much better on the ball. I think one of the problems that we had in the summer, one of the problems I had, I didn't know how good he was aerially. But then when we played him, Crystal Palace this season, I think he won like almost every header that went into the air. Like, he was immense in the air. So like he will be really good for us. Bring him in immediately. And there's another situation whereby, like, you've seen Konate, some of the games he's played this season, how poor he's been, but then Slot's reluctance to bring in Gomez. So he clearly doesn't trust Gomez at all. So if we don't even trust Gomez, we just stuck with these two centre-backs, Van Dijk, who hasn't had the best season so far as well. Yeah, if I had to choose one, I'm going with Gahey.
Do you think Konate's off?
Do you know what it is with Konate? He's not good enough for us to be bothered whether he's going or staying. Genuinely, I'm not asked. If he stays calm, he can be a nice fair choice centre-back, because he is a good centre-back on his day. But if he leaves, I'm not going to start crying on that. Like, who are you to be like pulling us along, dragging us along as if though you're some superstar? Like, and I know that might sound a little bit harsh, but this just needs to get sorted. You're not like prime Virgil van Dijk or whatever. Like, you can easily be replaced. Like, if he leaves, he can be replaced in the summer. And I still think, even if he does stay, we still do need to sign another centre back probably in the summer because Page is going into his last season. We don't know what's going to happen with Gomez. He's potentially gone. Leone hopefully will be back from his injury as well. But we always need to have 4 like very good competitive centre halves in the squad at all times.
You mentioned some ITKs, Ben? Do you want an ITK story that I got yesterday at +1?
Never say no to one of them.
Are you ready for this? How are we doing, Asim? How are we doing, bro? You're smashing the content. And then he put in my tweet, the one I said, in my opinion, Semenyo becomes a Liverpool player this January. And he goes, you want to, my source said the same thing. Basically, my bro. And you know what? I'll show you this in private because it was weird because the player that he mentioned tweeted on Indy Collier's tweet. Did you see Ryan Babel tweet Indy Collier yesterday with asking him?
No, missed that.
Yeah, because he let me.
What, just a retweet, you mean, or
no exclusive? You understand? Liverpool have bought a £65 million payment structure on the table for Bournemouth. That was last night, and Ryan Babel replied to that asking done deal ? Ryan Babel, and you know what? During the day, and I'll show you this. I'm not chatting shit. He says, basically, my bro, one source said Liverpool have told Ryan Babel to hold off selling his house so they can give it to Semenyo. The thing is, he definitely wants Arsenal and he will do an Eze if we come in. But Hughes is laying the carpet out for him. Wow. And then 5-6 hours later, Ryan Babel replies to Indy's.
I don't know what I'm more surprised about, that he's that Ryan Babel's tweeting to find out whether he's going to buy his house, or is Ryan Babel still owns a house in Liverpool.
So make of that.
He's a hardcore Red, to say the least. If he still owns his house in Liverpool.
Mute.
I said, make of that what you will. You two are the Scousers here, so go find Ryan Babel.
Well, you know what? Now that's been said, I'm expecting Hughes to fly the Babelcopter down to Bournemouth together.
Go check Ryan Babel's house if it's up for sale and was it taken down.
I don't even know where he lives. He probably lives in Formby with the rest of them.
You know what I make of all that?
Bullshit. But you know what, Gene?
Oh, yeah.
No. Listen.
I would say the same, but I think that's feasible.
All right. You know what?
Come on, man.
What did he say?
It's not a shite.
He said you're talking out your ass.
Babel's house. They told him not to put his house for sale. Yeah, like, what world are we living in, man?
Those things do happen, though. They do like to keep like a circle of sort of like,
and you know. What, the thing that pissed me off out of all of that, you know what pissed me off more than anything? If he wants Arsenal, tell him to fuck off. I don't like that, bro. I don't like that.
Yeah,
I don't like players coming out with that. God, let me show me.
He's not said that though.
No, but it does make me think though, because remember when Spurs bid for Eze,
they can go on game.
Yeah. Well, are they waiting for us to set the price? Is basically what.
The thing is, the price is there, isn't it, Ben? Everybody knows the release cost 60 plus 5 or 65. So I think the price is there, but I don't like this.
I don't know if Arsenal have got the wedge without selling Martinelli though.
Especially,
but one thing I would say, Gene, and I've sent you the screenshot. That guy who sent me it.
Oh, okay. I'm beginning to believe it now.
Is super reliable.
He is super reliable.
Put it in the group. Asim, I'll have a little look.
Okay.
Put it in our group.
Mabdi, this is between us, yeah?
Yeah, go ahead, of course.
I'm going to send it to you now.
100%.
Super reliable.
So I just okay.
Ben.
Oh, flipping heck, him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
He don't mess around.
Yeah. No. He's the one who
called.
No. Okay, sorry.
Boys, I'm gonna have to delete that before that goes on the internet tomorrow. Yeah.
No. It will. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Oh, that's bad.
No, that's quite encouraging. That actually.
Is it encouraging?
It is encouraging. It is encouraging.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if as Sheen said, if he was to join Arsenal, I hate players that we have to beg to join Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? Do one like you're getting the chance to play for Liverpool to have the liver beard on your chest. Do you know what I mean? Like this is the biggest club in the world. You join us, that's it. It's done.
Yeah, man. I mean, exactly. Yeah. I don't like that business, bro. I'll be honest. Not a fan of that.
And we can understand that other players are not like us in terms of they're not like worshipping Liverpool the way that we are. And Arsenal are a huge club, and we have to be honest and say that he goes to Arsenal, he probably wins a league title in 4 months' time. But things can change very, very quickly. And for me personally, forget about the idea of it's like this is the greatest club in the world. We've just signed Alexander Isak, who's the arguably the best centre forward in the league, maybe Haaland aside, and Florian Wirtz, who's one of the most attacking talents in the world. So it's like you're clearly building the next generation of an unbelievable football team. Who and the club aren't just going to say, right, okay, we'll knock it on the head now, not sign anyone else for the next 3-4 years. You're clearly going in a direction where we're going places. And if you ask me right now, who's got the better chance this season with this form of winning the Champions League, I'm still saying Liverpool, purely for Anfield, because as soon as we get through that Champions League group, and we'll get through the top 16, no problem, because that's the way it's mapped out. If we can manage to get a favourable draw that we didn't get last year, we got a horrible one against PSG. If we can manage to get an Atalanta or somebody like a middling team, then we get a quarter-final leg at Anfield, and all of a sudden you've got the crowd, and if the league forms a bit up and down, can you imagine the atmosphere, and can you imagine the emotion in the ground? Then it really will be a thing of let's build. Let's what a season we've had so far. Let's build and let's go and win number 7. And you know what? There's no other club that I'd rather be at for that run. So let's wait and see. And I hope whoever's pitching to him does that.
Question to you all, one by one. Is he a Liverpool player in Jan?
Well, I've tweeted it about 2 days ago, so can't.
You believe he is, Ben?
He didn't have the Semenyo feelings though, did you? Not quite.
Semenyo feelings happens when I get a proper Liverpool contact tell me it's on. But you know what?
Yeah.
The Liverpool contact are very, very cautious. Wirtz's type of cautiousness.
Yeah.
Like they knew it's bubbling, it's happening, but cautious. And I get those feelings. But have I got proper Semenyo feelings? Not yet.
Okay. Mo?
Yeah, no, I think he will be a Liverpool player, to be honest. There's no smoke without fire. And over the last couple of days, just there's been so many links to Liverpool from journalists and ITK. So I'm not into the ITK space, so I'm not really aware of what happens in the background and stuff. But just going off what I've seen on Twitter, and I just got a feeling he will be a Liverpool player.
Yeah, I agree now, especially after seeing that message.
I think Liverpool had Semenyo boxed off. They obviously knew about the release clause. I think he was a proper target in the summer. And with the tragic circumstances of Diogo Jota passing away, I think we had to change tact. And the number 9 market wasn't great because Isak was always going to come, always a target. Obviously, it took 3 months to get him because of the whole palaver. But I think, Carragher was talking about a 40-50 million striker. Who would that been? And I believe if the tragic circumstances didn't happen, I think this year our strike force would have been Jota and Isak with Gakpo and Semenyo on the left-hand side.
Yeah, makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
So let's just do it in January instead. Rock and roll. Okay. I think that's enough of transfers. Let's just have a quick circle back round to Forest on Saturday. The games will now come thick and fast. We have, off the top of my head, we have Forest on Saturday. We have PSV on the following Wednesday. Then we have West Ham away. Then we have Sunderland midweek at home. And then we have Leeds United are home the following Saturday. So it's thick and fast, really intense period, but a massive opportunity to put some points back on the board. And in parallel with that, if we're still going to talk about Arsenal, and why not let's do that, because that's still our target, because they're in the first place, and that's where we still strive to be, no matter how difficult it may look at the moment. They come back to the derby against Spurs, and they're a bit of a basket case, could be good, bad or ugly. Then they go away to possibly the best team in Europe on Wednesday in Bayern Munich, very intense game, and then they play Chelsea away. So all of a sudden, in a week's time, we could be back in a title race.
Are you clinging onto that?
I am clinging, but I'm also getting mega positive, because it'll be crazy not to, wouldn't it? And why not? And things can change very, very quickly in this sport.
You know what? I've given up. I've given up on what City and Arsenal are doing. We need to sort our own shit out before we start.
Yeah. No, I know. I am being slightly what's called slightly facetious, should we say? But you know what? Who knows? Who knows? A lot can change. You know, you just need a little bit of luck, a little bit of rub of the green, and let's just wait and see. But most importantly, you are right. Feet on the ground. Let's get 3 points on Saturday. How do we get 3 points on Saturday, Mo? What does the manager do?
Honestly, by any means necessary. I don't care how ugly it is. Just get the 3 points and get us out of this rut. Like, whatever, by any means necessary. I don't even want a fancy, like an amazing performance. Just get a win. Just get that win and get the ball rolling. Genuinely, in terms of how we can get the win, I think obviously we know how Sean Dyche is going to play against us. It's going to be that low block. It's going to be quite intense, high balls, and etc. The way that we combat that, well, first of all, we're at Anfield, which is such a huge advantage. I think majority of our problems this season has been away from home. We've only lost one game at home this season, and that was against United. And as you've already said, that game was quite unlucky for Liverpool. We hit the post like 4 or 5 times in that match. So like with it being at Anfield, I think we'll just have that extra edge. Hopefully pick the players that are like, I don't know, McAllister, I think he played. I don't know if you lads agree, but like, I feel like McAllister has been one of the biggest disappointments this season, and like his drop of form this season. And it's quite evident to see, like, when I always say when Liverpool and when McAllister plays well, Liverpool play well. And when McAllister doesn't play well, Liverpool don't. You could see that against Man City. He was quite poor against Man City, and Liverpool in general were just poor. But then against Real Madrid and Aston Villa, he was sensational, and Liverpool were good. So like, I think Argentina played like a week ago, and my general rule of thumb is whenever Argentina or like any of the South American lads have played before the international break, just don't play them. I'll start Jones. Jones is another thing that I agree with Asim. Like, it's frustrating. You see him have like 3-4 good games, and then he gets injured, and it's just like, the worst timing ever.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest advantages that we have going into this Saturday, and honestly, it's such a huge difference, is having Alisson Becker back, the best goalkeeper in the world, the best goalkeeper in Premier League history. It's such.
Does he come straight back in for you?
100,000,000%. One without a shadow of a doubt. Like, Mamardashvili has looked half all right this season, but there's levels. Alisson Becker is by far the best goalkeeper I've ever seen at Liverpool. Best goalkeeper in the Premier League history, in my opinion. And bringing him back into the team just adds that extra layer of, comfort for the defense. They know who's behind them. They're not going to pass it to his weak foot.
I think we're still working it out. What is he? Is he right-footed, left-footed?
No. They're not going to pass it to Alisson's weak foot. They're just going to pass it directly to his stronger foot. They don't have to worry about left or right foot or whatever. So just having Alisson in goal is just going to have a huge, huge impact. Mama will come good. I'm not saying he's been poor or anything, but there's just levels, isn't it? Like,
he looks second choice, doesn't he? He looks a good keeper, but he's second choice still.
But it also does worry me because, like, we didn't sign someone as good as Mamardashvili to just be the second choice goalkeeper for 2-3 years, and it just worries me that does that mean it's over for Alisson after the season? I just don't even want to think about that. But have him back into the team, and then we'll
never get anyone as good as him, I'm afraid.
Never.
Just to push you on a few certain positions and a few certain situations, we'll normally do like a bit of a team selection, possibly do Chip and Cheen tomorrow night and have that team selection. But while we've got you on the channel, I obviously want to give you as much time as possible. Just specifically, what would you do at left back? Because you've got a scenario where Robertson's just had an emotional roller coaster this week for Scotland. He looks a bit of a broken man physically and mentally, but then likewise, Kirkes has just had an unbelievably difficult time with Hungary, obviously losing that in the last minute as well. You saw Szoboszlai and how broken he was a little bit. And obviously we all know Kirkes has not had the best start to his Liverpool career. So it's like, it's almost the lesser of two evils. I feel like I'm swinging probably towards Robbo from a personal perspective because it's what we know at the moment. But what's your thoughts?
It's funny when it comes into Kirkes. I'm probably the only Liverpool fan in the summer that didn't want him. Like, wow. And I can show you tweets after this, and I can show you tweets that I was saying like Kirkes reminds me of Moreno, and I was saying this back in like early February this year, towards the end of like November, December last year, and like now everyone's getting on that, that bandwagon saying that he's not as good, but. I've got this little thing when at first I'll be like very negative about a player, but then when everyone else starts to be negative, then I become super positive and supportive of that player.
Sound like my kind of guy.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't want everyone to just be jumping on this guy. Do you know what I mean? He's a Liverpool player, so I'm going to support him. I'm going to back him. I didn't want him at first, but he's wearing a Liverpool shirt, and I'm going to back him. In terms of at left back, Andrew Robertson's incredible, but like he's played 2 full 90s, if I'm not mistaken, for Scotland, and 2 very intense games, especially the second one against Denmark and getting Scotland into the World Cup.
He was poor against Denmark as well. To be fair, he looked tired, he looked worn out. He gave the penalty away, if I'm not mistaken, and he gave a few poor fouls away as well. So I think the minutes was suddenly catching up with him a little bit. Obviously, his comments after the game, but my word, I was nearly in tears myself. It was heartbreaking, and he'd obviously had a day of it, and he was carrying the weight of the country on his shoulders, but equally he was carrying a mental burden of his mate in his head as well. So it must have been a huge challenge for him. So maybe he comes back completely and utterly full of beans and recharged, or maybe he needs a week off. But it's a really interesting one.
I think probably a week off is probably best for Robbo. I can't say I love Robbo. I think he's been incredible for Liverpool, but like every time he has come in this season, he hasn't looked the best, apart from like the Villa and Real Madrid game. He was good, but like I'm not calling for somebody who's so much better than Kirkes this season. Like Robertson's been pretty average at most times this season. I think I would go with Kirkes against Nottingham Forest. I think he's the younger, the fresher player. But let's just swerve this inverting left back thing, especially when it comes to Kirkes. Just let the lad have the freedom of the left hand side. And if we are to do that, then I would like to see Wirtz play at left wing, and then he can drift inside, which allows Kirkes to have that space up and down, because I just don't see a relationship with Kirkes and Gakpo on the same team.
Gents, Kirkes, Robbo, any thoughts?
I think Kirkes starts. But I think Gakpo starts as well. I think many times you're going to see Nottingham Forest. I haven't had a look at what they've been playing, but don't be surprised if you see a 5-4-1,
mate. 2 holding midfielders. They've got that. What's his name? Sangare.
17 centre backs.
And Anderson is incredible.
And they've got that. They bought that Villa midfielder as well. What's his name? That went to Juve.
Douglas
Luiz as well. So that's going to be their sort of midfield. And then
don't be surprised if they go into a back 5 the moment we get the ball. And if they do, I just don't like Wirtz going into midfield from the wide areas. We have to stretch that. And look, it is probably the only area where someone can produce a moment of magic. But I'll be very surprised if Liverpool have a lot of space in central areas come Saturday afternoon. And where those are wide areas, Gakpo has to take advantage of any sort of space that he gets out wide. And Salah does as well. So look, I think, and that is the only reason why I don't like Wirtz. I don't mind Wirtz, and I know it looks shy against Man City. I don't mind it away from home on the big day. I've always said that. At home, when you have to have, that's the only place where you're going to create some sort of isolation against their players. And the problem is that Gakpo always comes inside as well. He doesn't have the ability to do. That is the problem.
But that's the thing with Gakpo. Like he doesn't play. He won't stretch that pitch. He will always just come inside, cut inside continuously. Like it's just so repetitive with Gakpo. It's very frustrating to see. So I see where you're coming from. Stretch the pitch, but you're not really stretching the pitch with Gakpo. So what's the point? Well, you can stretch the pitch if you've got Kerkers who can just occupy that whole left-hand side. Let him occupy it. And if you're going to have someone who's going to be drifting in from the left-hand side, personally, I would rather that be Wirtz than Gakpo.
No, I get you. I get you.
Well,
the problem is
Gakpo is the same. Gakpo will give you goal threat. He will give you. He do.
Had a decent break again for Holland, didn't he?
Yeah, he does give you when he's on it. He does give you a lot more goal threat, more than Wirtz from what we've seen, especially over the last from the first 11 games. So I want to see Wirtz in the 10, especially like you mentioned. There's going to be they're going to be playing in a back five. I think we're going to need some sort of creativity. And if Wirtz is in that left hand side, then you've got probably Szoboszlai playing in the 10. And I just think we need more in terms of we need Wirtz, Dom playing behind him with probably Gravenberch. So we've got a bit more energy because look, in transition, they're going to probably have Hudson-Odoi and these players. They caused us problems last time. I know they're Elanga, but they still got Hudson-Odoi who scored the goal, pace, power. Probably Wood will maybe Wood. I think he will probably go with Wood up front if he's fit. He's always caused us problems.
And I mean, let's not forget one of the biggest reasons why we bought Wirtz is to unlock these low blocks.
Yeah.
And we're playing against a low block. So this is one of the main reasons we spent 115 million pounds on this lad to break down this low block. So playing him centrally as well. I agree with Asim and Yushin. Like we didn't sign him to play left wing. We signed him to be our 10. We didn't buy him to be left wing. So like I would love to see him in the 10, but at the moment I can't see a world that we drop Szoboszlai. And then Gravenberch is obviously going to play. So then do you play him instead of McAllister / Jones in that position? So it's like Wirtz, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, or like Szoboszlai can be an 8. I'm not really the biggest fan of that at the same time.
Just on that, Mo, we've talked about it endlessly all summer, and I've asked the question in my head. I've asked the question to the guys, and it's a conundrum for me that I still don't feel as though it's been answered. You've just said there we bought him as a 10 because he's the best, 10 on the market. Likewise, so what, in your opinion, was the plan in terms of which of those 3 was supposed to drop out of the team?
Call me crazy, but like in all my group chats and stuff, I was quite frustrated with Szoboszlai last season, and I kept on saying like with the way we play in this, the way that slot uses Szoboszlai, we need someone who's more creative, someone's going to score more goals from that position, someone who's going to create more goals from that position. I don't think Szoboszlai is that guy. Szoboszlai needs to drop a little bit deeper and play like in the 8. I feel like he's perfect for the 8. He can utilize his passing ability, his pressing ability, etc. Play him as an 8 and bring in a 10 like a Florian Wirtz. I've literally said it in so many group chats. I couldn't believe we actually signed Wirtz because it's such not a Liverpool kind of signing. So like when we did sign him, I was like, wow, we're going to go to another level. But genuinely, the level Szoboszlai's been playing at this season, I feel like he took it personal when they said he's probably the one that was meant to come out to the team. Personally, like I don't know if you lads agree, but he's probably the one that was going to come out to the team if you think about that midfield 3. But then as soon as he heard that news, I think he took that personal and said, yeah, good luck taking my shirts. And he's went up 2-3 levels because this is the best Szoboszlai I think we've seen since probably the first 3-4 months of when we signed him. Right now, the level he's playing at, he's undroppable. He's probably the first name on the team sheet. So then that causes a conundrum with Wirtz. Like, how do you bring them into the team? Do you play with Wirtz, Szoboszlai and Gravenberch? Unlikely, because my personal opinion, I think Slot's favourite player is McAllister, and he's my favourite player as well. But like the way he's playing currently, he's far from that. He's not been playing well. But does he? I don't think he will drop McAllister to play Wirtz, Gravenberch, and Szoboszlai.
You can't play McAllister right now.
You can't play him, but like in my opinion, if you don't play McAllister, you have to play Curtis Jones. I feel like in terms of on the top of the game, McAllister is obviously so much better than Jones. Yeah. But like similar-ish type of players in terms of profile. Yeah. Jones is very comfortable on the ball. One of his biggest critiques is that he keeps holding the ball for too long. But I'll be honest, there's been moments this season that we just need someone who could keep hold of the ball and not treat it like a hot potato. And Jones could have been that guy, but like McAllister's been quite difficult. But the other thing is as well, as Liverpool fans, I don't think we're used to having a big squad. And I think we need to start getting used to it and getting comfortable with the fact that there's going to be a lot of rotation. Yeah, we need to get comfortable with it. We're going to often rotate. We've been, how many years ago we used to say, oh, we have to play our players every single game, 2 games a week, every single day. Mane, Salah, Firmino. If we don't play them, then it's Shaqiri coming in or Origi coming in. The drop-off is huge. Now that drop-off is not the same. Instead of playing Vich, you can play Szoboszlai. Instead of playing Isaac, you can play Ekitike. There's so many options, and this is such a beautiful.
Can't have it both ways, can you?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Gents, any other thoughts?
I'm just thinking while Muhammad was talking, I'm going to stick my neck out. The way I think Nottingham Forest play, and if we're going to have Gakpo, we all agree like Wirtz is the number 10. If we want him in the number 10, Gakpo on the left. If Jones wants to play, and we want Kirkes higher in more of his natural position, I think we're going to have the ball on the halfway line a lot. But beyond that, there's not going to be more space. I would look to play Curtis Jones and Dominic Szoboszlai in the pivot, which will allow Curtis Jones to go into left-back areas, allow Kirkes to go higher, it'll allow Wirtz to roam around in the number 10. We've still got, you won't call him Gakpo like a touchline winger, but he's been playing that position fairly well for the last 12 months. I would look at that, you know. I would look at that. Gravenberch is really good when teams press us, so he's the most press-resistant number 6. Not natural, but that's why the main crux of the reason is he's been getting that position. But when teams sit off us, a lot of the time he's been playing, you know, a lot more advanced, and the onus is on Dominic Szoboszlai to provide the deep progression. One of the reasons why is because we're not getting that deep progression from the right-sided centre-back and the right back as well. I would look at that, you know. But will he do it? Probably not. Probably not.
Gina, just had a quick check on the stats now. Alexander Isak had 1 day full training with Liverpool just before the international break. Goes on the international break, and he played half an hour in the first game, and he didn't even come off the bench in the second game on Tuesday night. What's going on, and do you start him on Saturday?
Probably not, Ben. If you look at the minutes that you've just mentioned now, I think this game is probably Ekitike's then. You can't start him. I don't think he's fully ready and fit. As much as I want this guy to start bloody playing games and start to show his real worth, I think right now, would you take that risk at a game again? Probably not. I would definitely go with Ekitike. I want Isak to start. He needs to start, especially this is the run of games, boys, where players like Isak, players like Salah, players like Wirtz have got the perfect fixtures to get going, to get some goals, to get some assists, to show what they're about, so they can build some sort of confidence and some sort of momentum going forward. And we really, really need them, all of them, to start shining. Otherwise, but this is going to be a shambolic season. It's in the next 10 games. The players I've just mentioned now are still not. We're sat here in 10 games' time saying Ekitike hasn't done it, Isak hasn't done it, Salah's greedy, he's not passing it. If we're sat here in 10 games, we've got major issues. Then we've got real issues. So this is the time where I think they have to start. But we have got a lot of games, Ben. It's like you mentioned, it's a game every 3 or 4 days now. So there's a lot of rotation that we can expect. But I think this will probably be Ekitike's game with Isak to start against PSV. Sorry.
Just seen that comment there. That's one of the boys put up. Someone else has just said the same thing as well. Can't risk a yellow because it's a playoff. Even Potter said it. So that's interesting that he didn't play, but he is fully fit. So he's had nearly 10 days now again of training without playing. So that'll be nice to have him to come off the bench maybe for the last 30. Dare I say maybe even longer. But yeah, I think it is Ekitike Coaster. Yeah, they've made the playoffs apparently. Yeah. Where's the other one? Oh, that one there. Isak didn't play because it was a booking off missing the playoffs. Even Potter confirmed it. Interesting.
Did they make the playoffs in the end then?
Yeah, they made them. Yeah.
Did they make it? They were bottom of the table with the game to go.
Yeah.
Tables. Sweet. Oh yeah, they are the bottom. So surely they didn't make the playoffs then, did they?
I don't think they did.
Sure, that sort of sums up. That sums up Potter, that doesn't it?
What players are we on about?
Four
was
players,
that?
That's,
four players in this.
honestly, if that is the case, and that is the case, that then no wonder Potter
Look,
got sacked.
everyone's saying they made it.
Nations League,
All
yeah.
they
Come
have.
on, man. Nations League.
They have made it.
Oh,
Well,
they
yeah,
have made
it looks
it.
like they're playing against Ukraine.
How weird is the setup, eh? When you finish
They-
bottom with 2 points and you qualify, what's the point?
No, this is
I don't
Nations League,
understand it.
Ben. This is Nations League they're talking about, not the World Cup.
No, this is World Cup
No,
qualification.
they made it through
semi-final.
the Nations League, so they must be doing fairly. You know how you get like a fair play award and you enter something Europa Conference or something.
Yeah, you
This
have
one
been
of them. This one of them. Maybe.
Bottom make the World Cup qualifiers. What's
Gina,
Nations?
honestly,
They've
World Cup
made it to the
qualifiers.
World Cup qualification semi-final against Ukraine. This might be wrong, but I don't know how that's possible when they finish fourth in their group. It's
Gina,
Northern
international
Northern Ireland have done the same. through the
Ireland
Nations-
made it as well.
yeah, they're
Northern
playing Italy.
Ireland, Bradley's boys,
This is
membership
worse-
points.
This is worse than bloody.
They got a loyalty card, boys. They got a
This is
loyalty
worse than the bloody thingy. The bloody South American team. He's lost 8 games to the World Cup.
They're
that's
just
why
trying
I
to
would
make
think.
the Nations League a bit more
So
competitive.
I'm just reading this here. Liechtenstein finished bottom. We conceded 31 goals, played 8, lost 8, and they've qualified for the playoffs because it's a wonderful holiday destination, apparently. Honestly. What is it, Gina? International football, tutti.
That's it, man. Honestly.
Oh, right. Okay. What's that? 1 hour 10. I think we'll wrap it up there. Any more thoughts? Anybody? Are we what's it called? Anything else to throw in there? It's been an absolute pleasure, Mo. It's been great to have you on. You're very welcome again next time. You'll be hosting before you know it, mate. Honestly, don't talk to these two.
Yeah, you've been amazing hosting it.
Third show in, and they were like, "I'm going to do a big shop. Do you want to host?"
Throw him in the deep end. Throw him in the deep end.
Straight into the deep end, yeah.
Yeah, just give your channel a shout out again, mate. What was it again?
Yeah, nice one. It's on Twitter. You can find us called Cuts_Inside. On YouTube, it's Made in Talk Stuff. So it's just like all the lads. We just get together in the studio. We just talk about all the matches from the weekend. Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans, United fans, Chelsea fans, all sorts. You got United Scousers. It's strange. It's just
Wow.
very. You got Scouse United fans, Scouse Chelsea
United
fans.
Scousers.
Yeah.
Where are these crazy people? I need to
Honestly,
see them in the flesh.
It's the most bizarre thing ever. And when you go there, you just feel like punching them, but it just does your head in. So if you watch it, it's hilarious. Like, you just got these Scousers and they support United. It's like, are you all right? Or like Chelsea. Like, how can you support Chelsea and you're a Scouser? Like, it makes no sense.
Wow.
They don't come in with half and half scarves, do they?
Nah. I would have let them in the building. I would have let them know in the building.
Well, good stuff, guys.
Make sure
Good
you
stuff.
all go and subscribe to the channel, guys. It's
Thanks,
for
lads.
being here. So
Thanks.
please make sure
Absolutely.
at least do that one good thing. Your good deed for the day is you go to this channel and make sure you subscribe to it.
Appreciate that, brother. And
When you're not on,
as well.
when you're not on, send them B&R's way as well.
Mohammed, I've saved your number now, so
Yeah.
that's a sign you'll be getting plenty of requests to come on, man.
My brother, yeah, anytime, man, anytime. As I said, I've been watching the channel and you lads have been smashing it, so it's been a
Thank you
pleasure
so
to
much.
be
Thank you
here
so
as well.
much.
So onwards and upwards, hopefully. I can see at the bottom it says race to 20k, so hopefully we'll smash past that 20k.
Catch us up. One super chat to finish.
Yeah, super chat.
If Semenyo is left wing signing, then it's ideal we sign a runner at right wing or vice versa. If we sign Semenyo, Elise shouldn't be right wing signing anymore, in my opinion. But a Mite or a Ademie, I can never pronounce his name. Adabiemi, like player.
I've noticed struggle with players' names.
I'm terrible with them. That's an interesting shout, though. So he's basically saying, from a balance perspective, if we're going for a really powerful runner on one side, we have a bit more creative, stylistically guileless player on the other side, or vice versa. I've seen a couple of people mention Minte. I don't think he's Liverpool standard, if I'm personally honest. And I don't think he's the guy at Borussia Dortmund, is he?
Yeah,
the other guy.
He's
yeah.
Good,
so,
but in terms of his output, it would be, even
to
more
me, it's a like. Asim will tell you, Elise is the one for me as well. To be honest, he would be a dream replacement for the King. But let's not hope that the King will be replaced in the not too distant future. I think he's got a little bit left in the tank, and I think he might do what he's been doing for the last 7 years and throw throw a lot of people's opinions out the window and show us all how good he is again in the next few months. But we shall see. We shall see. Sorry, Asim, what you going to say something?
Yeah, Dean says Muhammad gives a bomber. as you know, this channel is known for bombers.
Bombers.
Just do an Avi. You just make something up, mate.
I don't even know, but Liverpool are going to win the league.
Any local?
We're adding to that Champions World.
All I'm saying is, look, it's your first show, because if you said that comment, I would have gone for you. But it's your first show. I'm reeling you in. I'm reeling you in a little bit.
I got no bombers. I'm not that guy.
Thank you so much.
Good stuff.
Thank you, lads. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Well, I think we'll wrap it up there, guys. Are we Chip and Sheen tomorrow night?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yes, do a bit of pre-match warm up, a little bit of selecting the team, a little bit of getting excited for the Reds to do the business again. But yeah, 48 hours away from watching the Reds again. We're all excited. We all got fresh hope, be it false hope or be it what's called fake hope. But we love the Reds, and we'll be there cheering them on Saturday, I'm sure. Good stuff. Thanks very much, guys. We'll see you all on the next one. Thank you very much.